Hello, welcome in. Happy Sunday, everybody. Hopefully you all are doing well. Kevin, hello. I was on another stream earlier, which is why I'm late to this one. So hopefully you guys tuned into that. Shout out to my guy, Johnny V, Jay Bissell, what's up? Yeah, we're going to go through some stuff quickly here. So start filing in those questions. Last week of the regular season in the fantasy football streets. So most people's playoffs will be starting next week. So if you guys are trying to, get in to those playoffs, if you're on the fringe or, if you need a must win for seeding purposes or whatever it is, last week of the regular season in fantasy. CJ, what's up? Yeah, Ryan Day. Look, CJ, it's a classic Ryan Day performance. This is what he does. The Ohio State Buckeyes, storied program, puts up with this guy, and they win in spite of him, win a national championship in spite of him. And when he gets into like a situation like that, yeah, he pisses down his leg. This is what he does. And look, I obviously grew up an Ohio State fan. I love Ohio State football. Like, I will root for them, but I try to be like objective about things. And I don't understand how, even if you're a big fan of the team, Indiana is so much better coached than Ohio State. It's actually crazy when you just sit down and watch it. And I wish Ohio State had Kurt Cignetti as their coach. Ohio State would literally win. They would be like a powerhouse. They'd win the next like 7 titles in a row if they were coached by Cignetti instead of Ryan Day. It makes me sick watching that stuff. But yeah, I had an Indiana bet last night. You guys know I've been a cooler the last like 5 days. So hopefully the Chiefs win tonight and we can get back on track. But I have a lot of bets that I took today, which we're going to talk about. And then we'll rip through some DFS thoughts as well quickly. I'll get my lineups posted up for all you guys, and then we'll try and make some money today. Devonta Smith or Watson season long. I would go Watson there. Wilson or Knight in the flex. I would go Wilson. So give me Watson and Wilson for those two. Really good spot for Christian Watson today, I think, which we can talk a little bit about. But all right, let's quickly go DraftKings. If we're looking at the ownership projections at quarterback, Jaden Daniels, Josh Allen, Jacoby Brissett, Tyrod Taylor, Matthew Stafford in that order. Don't really think you're going to get a big ownership number on any of these quarterbacks today. I think it's pretty much open, and you can play whoever you want. I don't know if I really want to play Jaden Daniels, honestly, in his first game back at 6K. Like, I really just don't want to play him personally. Jacoby Brissett has been good. A lot of it's been garbage time. Is he going to be able to do what he does in garbage time week in, week out? I don't know. So there's kind of a pushback on that. So I don't know. I like Sam Darnold again in GPP. I've been playing him quite a bit. I think go right back to him. A lot of people want to play JJ McCarthy at 4,700. It's now or never for him. So I think you could play him by himself, or you could play him with Justin Jefferson. But he's cheap enough to where I would consider it. I don't think he's like a smash play or anything, but he's cheap enough that I would consider it. I like Daniel Jones, who's not going to be owned. Like, I'd rather play Daniel Jones in tournaments than Jane Daniels, just personally. I know he's banged up and hurt, but it's a good spot for him. Pretty clean stacking partners there if you want to do Pittman, if you want to do Tyler Warren. So I like Daniel Jones in tournaments, and I like Sam Darnold. Those are the two that stick out to me. I also like Jordan Love a little bit. I think the Packers rolled today and buried this fake good Bears team. So you could talk me into some Jordan Love at 5,900. But yeah, that's really it. Allen and Burrow I'm interested in the big total game. I like Daniel Jones. I like Sam Darnold. Tyrod's fine at 49. I'd probably prefer Tyrod to McCarthy, I guess. Like, you probably feel a little bit better about that, but I don't know. This is a weird slate again. At the running back position, James Cook, huge ownership tag here, almost 50% projected ownership. The next closest is Josh Jacobs at 20%. You have Devon Achane at 22. Bucky Irving's at 20. RJ Harvey's at 20. Kenneth Walker, Quinshon Judkins, Breece Hall in that order. Not a ton of salary go around on this slate, so I think Achane probably, I don't really know if he'll be 20% owned. I think he'll probably be a little bit less. I think people will want to play James Cook over him. It's kind of tough to fit him in if you're playing James Cook also. So, yeah, some stuff to think through there. I like Judkins at 64. Really good spot for him. Brown's defense could give him some short field. Yeah, Trevor Lawrence is probably fine in cash. He's going to be owned like that. So, yeah, it's fine. But I feel like when I sit here and talk about it, like playing Trevor Lawrence in cash feels exactly like playing CJ Stroud in cash last week, where like the projections say that's the best play today, but then you're going to be sitting there on Monday morning and you're going to be like, why did I play Trevor Lawrence in cash? Like, he's just like not good. But it's a good spot. Like, both sides of that game are fine. I might play Trevor Lawrence in cash. I haven't finalized any of my teams yet, but yeah, I do think he'll be popular. I just don't ever want to play him when he's popular. I don't ever want to play CJ Stroud when he's popular. It's like, those are the guys I want to play when they're low owned and not high owned. But in cash games, a little bit of a different conversation. Judkins, good spot. Browns defense could give them some short fields against that Titans offense and Cam Ward. We've seen him with the Wildcat. We've seen them just really feed him the ball. So I like Judkins a lot at his salary. I don't like Josh Jacobs as chalk, honestly. Even though I think the Packers win this game handily, Josh Jacobs does not have a game this season where he's got the 100-yard bonus on DraftKings. He needs 2 touchdowns to beat you. And when someone's going to be 25 to 30% owned and they need 2 touchdowns to beat me and they don't get a ton of volume in like the passing game or anything like that screams fade to me. So I'm probably a little bit lower on Jacobs. I like Cook. I like Bucky. I like Judkins. Those are probably my 3 favorites. I don't hate Chris Rodriguez, honestly, 47. You could talk me into him as like a low-owned play. That'd probably be my favorite lower-owned cheap play would be Chris Rodriguez. And it's a good little pivot off the Daniel stuff as well. At receiver, huge ownership tags on all of Michael Wilson, A.D. Mitchell, Luther Burden, Jamar Chase. All those guys are projected for upwards of like 25% ownership. Yeah, Puka hanging around there well. Christian Watson, Terry McLaurin, Emeka Buka, Jackson Smith, and the Jigba. And then Devon Vele down in that 3K tier as well. So my thoughts on receiver, I am not playing Terry McLaurin at 5,200. I took Terry McLaurin's under 55.5 receiving yards today. We just saw Minnesota completely erase Jackson Smith and the Jigba out of the game last week with double coverage. I think they're going to do the same exact thing to Terry McLaurin today. It's also Jaden Daniels' first game back, so I don't know where the chemistry is going to be at. So yeah, I'm just completely fading Terry McLaurin today. I don't want to play him at 5,200. Much prefer Christian Watson at 5,200. Christian Watson is my favorite mid-tier play. I like Luther Burden a lot at 38 with Noah Dunze as well. So those are probably my 2 favorites in the mid-tier, along with Michael Wilson, who's just going to be massively owned. Love Adonai Mitchell. You guys know that. We've been betting his ladders, and then we missed out on the big game last week. I'm probably off him here. He could still have a good game, but Miami plays a lot of 2 high safety, sit back. They don't get beat over the top a lot, which is kind of the opposite of what we saw last week. I don't know if there's going to be those opportunities for a 50-yard touchdown from Adonai Mitchell today. So if I'm looking for cheap guys or mid-tier, it's Wilson, it's Watson, it's Luther Burden for me. I like Ibuka again as well, kind of going back to that. Still feel like a big game's coming from him at some point. Obviously, Chase. I lean Chase over Puka for 500 savings as well if you're picking one of those guys. And I think the Bengals can play well today offensively as well. And I like JSN. If I'm playing, I'm going to play a Darnold to JSN team for one of my main GPPs. So I like going back to JSN. betting on a bounce back game there. And at tight end, I do think some double tight end is in play today. You have Kyle Pitts at the top of the projected ownership, Tyler Warren, Brock Bowers, Colston Loveland, Brenton Strange. Trey McBride, projecting very well for 20 DraftKings points, 21 in some spots, but not going to be high owned because of his price tag at $8K. I like some double tight end if you're using Tyler Warren as one of them. Tyler Warren is someone I want to take a stand on today. I bet his over yards. I bet him 100-plus yards. I bet his touchdown. Jacksonville's been the second worst team in the NFL against tight ends this season, second to only Cincinnati. It's a really, really good spot for Tyler Warren, I think, especially when you want to factor in the touchdown stuff. With Daniel Jones banged up, I don't know if you have that tush-push potential from him. I think they would let Tyler Warren do that. So Warren, I like. Loveland, I like at 32. Pitts, I like. Strange, I like. Those are probably my group of tight ends this week. And then if you want to get really weird, Harold Fannin Jr. Best quarterback for cash, Scott. Probably, like I said, I haven't finalized my team yet, but before I got on these streams today, when I was looking at stuff, I think it's between Jaden Daniels and Trevor Lawrence, but I don't really want to play either of them. So I'm kind of like in a tough spot. That's why I haven't finalized my team yet. I don't think you could get up to like Allen and cash and like feel good about your team. I don't want to play Trevor Lawrence. I don't really want to play Jaden Daniels. Jacoby Brissett, I'm a little bit worried about the like garbage time. Like just they could fall flat at one of these points. I might drop all the way down and play Tyrod or JJ, honestly. And just, I don't know. I got to think about it. It's kind of tough. But I think Daniels is going to be really high owned. So probably more smart to play him. A.D. Mitchell-Warren versus Burden Harvey. I'd probably go the second, CJ. I think I'd go the second one. If you have any other DFS questions, ask. Sorry, we were on here late, so going a little bit quicker today. As far as betting-wise, I like the Green Bay Packers -6.5. I like the Kansas City Chiefs. I did a moneyline parlay, which was just Chiefs and Packers moneyline. It's plus 100 odds. So I did that. We have Chiefs moneyline in a parlay from yesterday too. So I don't want to go overweight there, but I do like those spots from like a side perspective. I also like the Colts to beat the Jaguars today as well. You could take them on the money line at the pretty short price there. From a prop perspective, Tyler Warren over receiving yards, 100 plus and a touchdown. That's my favorite spot of the day, the Tyler Warren stuff. I also took a Samaje Perine over 4.5 receiving yards against the Bills for 1.5 units. I thought that line was disrespectful to him. So those are probably my favorites. And then I took the Terry McLaurin under 55.5 receiving yards against the Vikings. For touchdown picks, aside from Warren, I like Quinshon Judkins against the Titans. I like John Mechie, a little sleeper from the Jets. So fitting in with, I think it'll be hard for A.D. Mitchell to get deep against the Dolphins. Mechie's been working a lot of that underneath stuff, and we've seen him score 2 touchdowns in the last few weeks for the Jets. So John Mechie at a high price, you could talk me into. But Warren and Judkins, probably my 2 favorites. And then you could take, even though I think the Packers win the game, you can take some shots on Loveland or Burden for a touchdown as well. All right. Overall, super fast stream today. Apologies for that. I will be live tomorrow at 4. So we'll talk Monday Night Football. We'll recap today. And I'll be back like fully streaming this week. So thank you guys for tuning in. Hit me in the Discord if you guys have any other questions. Rolling Insights Discord, it is free to get in. If you don't have access to that currently, you can join rollinginsights.com. Scroll all the way down to the bottom. There's social links down there. If the link doesn't work for whatever reason, DM me and I'll get you in that Discord, and you can tag me in there and ask me any questions. Good luck today. Play some Sam Darnold lineups, play some Daniel Jones lineups, and let's try and make some money. I will see everybody tomorrow.